Mom, probably one of the shortest words in this world, yet conveying such a deep meaning that is impossible for any of us to truly understand. Understand and respect who they are, and understand and respect what they do. No matter what we do, we can never equal the immeasurable amounts of love and affection offered by a mother. At this point, it's on instinct, isn't it? Feeling depressed? Mom. Feeling happy? Mom. We're so used to it, in fact, that we often seem to forget how valuable they are in our lives and how incomplete we would be without her. Welcome everybody to a brand new video. Today, I have some of these amazing people with me and will attempt to pay my sincere gratitude to them for the immeasurable amount of work and efforts that they've put in and they continue to put in for each and every one of us. And I sincerely hope that you all join me in this endeavor. And since it's Christmas, I just thought that it would make sense to call them the Santas, and that's what I'm gonna be referring to them as today because honestly, that's who they represent, for me. Because really don't need to see this old guy dropping gifts in the Christmas tree, at night, because I have one living right next door, showering me every day with their, gifts of compassion, love, wisdom, you name it. So that's pretty much who they represent. My mom is my Santa. So yeah, welcome all moms. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Arush.
So basically, in this video, we're gonna be talking about, some questions as I
Thank you,
always say
Arush.
this.
That's really
Hi, as I always, say this in my videos. There's some questions that people have, some different sorts of apprehensions that people go through. So we kind of be talking about all that, and whatever you think about those questions, what would be your advice. So we have, like, I got a couple questions and everything, so now let's actually start discussing them. And um so let's start with the first question. So raising a blind baby, it may seem hopefully hopelessly, difficult for most parents. Something they expected, accepting the fact that your student is, your kid is visually impaired. It's a challenge. So how did you manage to come to terms with this, and as well as prepare yourself for the fight, to be inclusive and also to make sure that others around you were inclusive? So how did you manage that?
I believe that, like, for a mom, it's child, when because she's not prepared for that, and initially actually a very tough struggle for moms to accept, because she's not being trained for that. And but yes, I believe moms are the first teachers of every child. And the mindset, and for a mom to understand the inclusion, I am sure that all moms have faced first 2 years in a very struggling issue, because for them accepting for them, and then their family, and then the neighborhood, and then all, the schoolmates, it's a continuous struggle for mom and the child both. But yes, I believe that things are little changing. But when I started my journey, like 16 years back, the real mindset of the people was very different. So inclusion was not very like, people were not inclusive. And before we start accepting the things, people started asking questions, and that questions used to come very strange questions, which in itself, we were all the time in research R&D doing with ourselves, with how to handle, what to do. Every step was a tough. But yes, but I can say that for moms are the real struggle. Everything starts from the mom. So acceptance is the first thing, I believe, for not for the mom, but for the as a family. When you start accepting and you start focusing towards that, I think the things will start, opening. And then you train the whole family starts accepting that way. So it's not only the mentor, it's mainly, I could say, the mindset. It is all about the mindset and acceptance.
Right.
Yeah, this is Pranav's mother. Yeah, same thing as Anjana said. Acceptance is very important. As a mother, we will be shocked, It's like how this can be. So first we have to accept, and then we can give our family. Also, we have to tell them that they accept very well. So slowly, everyone will accept, and then inclusion. We have to tell the world. We have to tell the people that yes, even the normal kids can do. Even our kid can also do. You try it. Give a chance. Always give a chance, and then you see it is happening, and it will happen, and it has happened till now also. So inclusion, slowly we have to tell as a mother or our family member that everywhere inclusion is important. And slowly we are also learning as a mother, okay, how to do. It's like learning for us because it's a totally different new world. It's suddenly never we have seen before, neither like after we don't want to. So it's a new journey, but yeah, it is surprising, and we are learning many things out of this. Many.
Right.
Hi, this is Smita, Sam's mom. And like, if I tell my, like, how it happened with me, like, I'll say as a mother, there is a lot of guilt. And it is important, and people will give you guilt. They will ask you questions. Did you do something during your pregnancy? Did you do like you did? Like, could it happen because of this? Did you go to the right doctors? So, you have to let go of that pressure. That is not something that is your fault. And I think that is what I accepted. First, I corrected my mindset. I accepted my kid. And a love of mother is not dependent on, whether your kid has a disability or not. Inclusion and all the things, they will take time. It is still a struggle. Not everyone is as we'll come across different kinds of people. Some will be very nice, accommodating, some will not be. And but that's the life. And you cannot even guarantee a fair world to a sighted child too. So this is life. This is how you will meet people and you will get experiences, be a visually impaired child or a non sighted child. So it's like the world is there for you. It is you who needs, like the child, who needs to have the strength. And as a mother, this is I take it as my responsibility to make sure that he has that strength in himself, that confidence in himself, that self-worth, that self-awareness, that no matter what he's doing, no matter what his limitations, he is capable. That's what my take is.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. So, moving on. So this whole this journey basically is an ongoing struggle. Like a fight of sorts, like a continuing fight. So, like, what is your approach to keep yourself as well as your kid motivated to to those struggles? Like, for example, I can say that I used to do this. For example, like at school, I would like to you know I wanted to play this game, for example, and these kids were enjoying. They were playing this great game in the playground. I wanted to participate too, but they wouldn't let me. And like that would make me really sad. And I'd come back to my mom. Sometimes I'd cry too, and I'd complain about all that. So how would you keep yourself and your kid motivated? Like, what advice would you give to him at that point, for example?
Okay, Anush, I'm Bharat's mom.
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, he did face lots of such issues. Like, kids never used to play with him, and earlier he used to play lots of cricket and all. So the first thing he used to do was come home and cry and throw things and bang his head and things like that initially. And for me, it was a struggle trying to first understand how to like help him out or make him understand. Then slowly, what we started doing was we had a group of 4 or 5 people staying nearby, and they were really so good and supportive. So we used to play games in the evening. So that really did compensate and actually boosted lots of energy and morale in him. That yes, whatever, maybe I can't see to some maybe I can't see a cricket ball, but I can see a football or maybe something like that, or I can hear it being falling near me. And that's how he used to play with his bat. And I would really be thankful to people around, and such great supportive people. But well, as such, if I say the environment in the school, it wasn't that very good. And well, inclusion, as I would say, mm, it wasn't that good even at that time, not even nor even today.
One thing which always I had this question: why we have to prove ourselves? Why we have to prove our kids can do great? Why we have to prove ourselves? My son is the best. This is something which I had this question, and I have still this question. If I have to talk about my son, I have to really feel that he can do this, he can do that. That means out of the box you feel, oh my god, why I'm there to prove. So one thing was that. But when I still remember when Arush used to come, so I used to give him, see, Arush, we'll find something creative. Let me. And I used to spend my nights making some creative things like charts, paper, some work thing, where when Arush will go, he'll get the attention of 40 students along with the teacher. So that, he will feel mesmerized, he'll feel happy, and he'll feel boost up. I used to work on the some games on the diagrams, which I know by the end of the day are not actually ready. It will not, but somehow it used to give Arush confidence on that, so people started involving him. But it was an effort for a mother, no doubt about it, because you have to understand. But that is what I could find myself way at that time, because as we all said, we learn from these kids only. So I have learned that I used to involve Arush, and I show one lesson which I always learn myself and taught Arush also: to go and ask for help, to say, like, let me do it, to go. It's okay to ask help. It's okay to accept that, yes, this is the sense which is not there, but I can do this way, work in a different way. So I believe that is one message where we can include world. We all are different, we all have different things in. So we have to just make others inclusive by small things, by telling them, in spite of cribbing, in spite of questioning, we all need to have need to things done in a very very creative way. And that's what I did especially. And I believe, yeah, it was a journey, a very good journey also, but it was at times a very taxing also. But inclusion starts with acceptance, with creativity, with motivation, with positivity. That's what I said.
Right. Right.
Yeah, as a Pranav also, it's same thing. In the school, there are many challenges also it's happening. Like the kids will not involve him in his talk. Kids are talking something different. And even he wants to get involved. Though so many times, like he's left over. There are no friends and nothing. Slowly, initial when he was a small kid, I always make him, go as a social, always make him play with the normal kids. We used to go down as like he wants cricket. So in the school itself also, in the house we have done so many times. Now we play cricket, we play inclusive cricket also. We put a band here and we play with him because he loves cricket. So, and in the school also, the school has introduced the inclusive cricket. So the normal kids also play the inclusive cricket so nicely. So yeah, that way the challenges keep coming. We have to keep solving like them, and many other things it will come, and slowly we have to solve them. But
Yeah.
get the way out of it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, with Samarth, you know what? I don't know, like, I don't remember him ever coming to me and saying that, that I wanted to do this and I wasn't included and all that stuff. Like, he's very quiet, he's a very quiet child and not very expressive. In fact, this has always been my worry that, that he maybe he's sitting alone. There are no friends. He doesn't have any friends. And he is the one now that, he is a little older. Now it has been, no mom, I'm good, I have friends, I have lots of friends, they talk to me, and but I constantly worry. But in himself, like, he's contented, he's thoroughly, I never, very rarely will he say that, I'm getting bored. As a family, what we did was, like, I always put him in activities where, where he could participate. And that has always been my focus, to not, I think my way of telling him that do not focus on what you cannot do, always focus on what you can do. There are a lot of things, it's okay, like, although he was never a very athletic child, so he will always be, okay, sit with me and we will talk and, we'll play board games. So those were kind of, his things. um he did participate in, like, he took on activities like swimming, rock climbing, and then when he was like very little, then skating too. And so these things, I think these are the things that, activities that actually took his focus from the things that he couldn't do, and motivated him to focus on what he could do. So always, that's sort of my take is on that,
Right.
that focus on what you can do.
Hmm. Okay, so of course we all, like, as kids, respect the work that you have put, to get us where we are, always being there to support us and standing alongside us during this whole battle that's going on. But there comes a time where we have to embrace this world on our own, when we have to learn to start finding our own way. So what steps, like, did you take to ensure that your kid was prepared for all this, to be independent, to make sure that he's able to, he or she is able to survive on their own? So for example, mobility and everything. So what was your thoughts, like, what steps did you take, basically?
Okay, Arush, Bharat's mom here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I would like to put it in this way, as he used to be much more motivated than me. I would very clearly say that. Maybe I was a bit apprehensive about him going out on his own and things like that. But then he used to say that only when I fall will I ever come to know how to stand up and walk. So why don't you allow me to fall? If I get injured, it doesn't matter. You apply medicine for me, or you tell me whatever you want me to do, I'll do. But like, I want to explore. So that's when he started learning skating. He used to do skating earlier, but then in between we had stopped it for a year or so. But then he again got back to that. So it was like both of us were trying to support each other, more of trying to understand. I used to try to understand how different ways in which I could talk to him and make him understand things, and he used to like try to make assure me in each and every way possible so that he could explore in many different ways.
We used to stay in the fourth floor. I used to come down on the first ground floor and used to call Arush, Arush, come down, I'm here. And all my family members, everybody, my neighbors used to get scared and they used to say, oh my God, how can you do that? And they started feeling me. But as you know, mom's mother's heart, it always throbs inside, tuck, 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 tuck. But then you need to be a very strong outside. You need to give them
Yeah.
the practical training. You need to, you need to tell them, okay, you have to do it, you have to do inside. I know, I know what it was going on inside my heart. It was like, oh my God. But I used to do that trainings with him. Then I started working on tactile things more. That was I started Arush's journey with that only. Very, very small steps. I taught him like how to how to go to the washroom, then how to come again. And whenever, and I was little firm with all the family members also. I never want Arush to show anybody, to show him that, to protect him and show the coziness. Oh, no, 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 he'll fall. I was very, very, very firm in that. As we moms, we are a very strong mentors also. We have to at times become a very strong person also. And we have to say, no, this is not right. Please do it. And that's how the habit I created with Arush. And I could see that and I, throughout my life, I was also working, so that Arush had no choice to become a only, he has to start, otherwise, then I taught him how to start making coffee. And then I start helping him how to, I used to do that small, involved him everything. Basically, the thing is, when we involve our in a very different way, that's how the mobile how this independence starts.
Yeah, Pranav had a many problems, and in the school also. uh, First we started, initially I started like when he was a small, I used to take him in the scooter. So that time, everyone used to say, oh my god, he will fall, you should be careful and all. But no, I was little strong, he can do it. And we started with the scooter. He used to hold it, the scooter handle, and I used to take him. So in a strong way, no, even he can also do it. And we went like that. And slowly, when he grew, as many things, feeding, so with the spoon, there also some time, he was like, no, 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 I don't want to. But then forcibly, no, you have to use the spoon, you have to do it slowly, slowly, because it's not in a comfort. They will leave the things, they want in an easier way. When it is not coming in an easier way, then they will leave it. So yes, initially we have to start with a stronger, that no, you have to do it, there is no other way, you have to do it. We will change the way how to do. Stay on 20th floor. So every time it is like challenging. I will not send him alone. I don't know any time, like in the middle the lift will stop, what he will do. That fear was there with me. But slowly, slowly, then I started sending him. Once I 2 3 times I was with him. It's like, if Pranav, this will happen, if somebody in the middle something will stop, what you will do. Then he himself, slowly take the answers, like, oh, something has happened, I will feel it, or I will take the help. As everyone said, there is no harm to take a help. So if I go on the any other floor, then I will ring the bell and I will ask them, can you help me to drop to my house. But yeah, slowly is like 20th floor, he will go and feel it, if somebody will press the other floor in middle. Slowly he went down. In the mobility also, initially I was, as a mother, very worried, he may bang. So in the tuition, slowly, slowly he started, when going alone to the tuition, he will come back cases. Like in the library he will go, now he goes to play cricket on his own. So yeah, slowly, slowly we have to start as a mother. And we have to become a brave. Actually, they are more confident than us.
Yeah, like with Samarth, we did, like, the things like making him independent at home, like, taking care of his things, and getting ready, and or like helping with the household work, basically, setting up dining table, taking the plates back to the kitchen and all that stuff. So these are the things that, that I always insisted that he does. And and he's still not there, I'll say. It's still a work in progress. He wants to pick, like, with his cupboard, I set the clothes, these are your clothes that you'll wear at home, then these are the clothes that you'll wear in school. And like going out in the world, he's still not going out alone. He goes to our neighbors apartments and all, because he knows the route. So we are still working on that. And how to cross road safely, and he's getting his orientation and mobility training. But I'm still not confident that, that he can cross the road on his own. So I'm like, we try to go for as many walks as possible, where, he's the one. I tell him, okay, you tell me when it's safe to cross. And if I say, okay, if I'm like okay with that, you can go ahead, I'll not say anything. If I'm not, then, I'll obviously stop you. So I think, like, he's only in 8th grade as of now, so he still has 4 years. till he will actually leave a school and he has to go to college. So I'm hoping that in 4 years he will be, he'll be at a level where he can travel on his own, manage college. I don't know how he is going to do it, and he will have to stay in hostel. So that is again something that we have to, plan for. So, honestly speaking, I think like the kids, they amaze you. They always amaze you with their like these, like Sam has taught me that, that he has given me that strength to trust him, and that he can do it. It's like I give him motivation that you can do it, but he also with his, resilience, I'll say that he shows me that yes, he can do it. Like when we did rock climbing the first time, when I took him, I was like, see, he cannot see at all. He's only going by my words, and he is, climbing 20-30 feet above, like he's above the ground. And it's all, that's when it truly hit me that how much trust this boy has on me, or as like on us parents, that he is like, he's just believing on my words, and he's just taking that step up, up, up. So that was like kind of a very scary moment as a mother, not that he'll fall, but that weight of trust that he has on us as parents.
Right.
Quite a remote place. So he had to travel to almost 60 kilometers to reach Surat for his 12th standard JEE classes. So initially I had some arrangement for vehicle, but then there were issues because of that. Then he started traveling on his own from our township. He used to go by a bus or something till the railway station. Railway station, he used to catch a train, go to Surat. From there, he used to hire a auto, go to the institute, and from there, he used to cross a super busy high road. I don't know how he used to manage, but he used to do that. And that is where maybe I started getting more confident about allowing him to go on his own.
Yep.
So throughout his college, I have never gone with him. He travels on his own by bus. He crosses a road. I don't know, even I am afraid of crossing the road, but I don't know how come he manages. But that is something like, I would say that the more we trust them, the more they prove to us that we are far better than others in each and every way.
Right.
We just need to
That's true.
learn to understand and trust them. That's all.
So this is a question that I, always save for the last because, according to me, it's a really important question, and especially now that we have our moms or Santas, as we're calling them today, this question I feel is especially important. What advice would you have, personally, for the visually impaired students out there? And who's struggling and potentially maybe at the point of giving up, for instance, due to not being included, or all the different sorts of challenges that they're going through, and be the parents who's right there with them, they're also struggling, they're also fighting alongside them, and going through all those struggles. So what advice would you have for them?
Okay, I would like to start with I think each and every child today has some sort of a struggle or the other. The only difference is maybe visually impaired, they have 50% more of a struggle. That's the way I would put it. And the best way I would advise or support or ask the parents to do is, first thing is, learn to accept what your child says. Believe and accept. Second, trust and give them the freedom and the confidence so that they can move around and do whatever they want to do. If they fall or get hurt or any way they have any sorts of impediments on the way, let them cross it themselves. You be at the back, but allow them to do it themselves. They
Yep, the first thing is what I believe is that empowering rather than sympathizing. We all mothers should be proud because we are not different. we don't have, that acceptance. We have to do the things although in a very different way, but that's perfectly fine. First thing is, we never went as a mother, we should never sympathize with our kids, nor sympathize with ourselves, not sympathize with our circumstances. Oh my god, what is that? It's my I believe that it's all believing on the potential of each and every individual is the mantra. And then as a mother, believing on my son that he can create wonders is the first mantra what I believe. And the second thing which I want to tell to all mothers is that I know it that should have a faith on that almighty, because the second thing which I feel that the society also has to, the mother first starts with our doctors, because the first thing when child goes, he comes in the hospital. So what I believe, that first stage of the inclusion starts with our doctors, with deep gratitude to our doctors. And I believe that they should be more empowered, they should be more inclusive, because the journey of a mother starts from that day, because when that motivation, that strength which the doctor starts circulating. So I believe that as a society, doctors should be more educated towards this impairment. That is something. And yes, believing, and I will say with that, I always have this mantra: kashti ko khuda par chhod do, kashti ka khuda khud sahil hai. So I will translate in English: you let the boat go into the sea, there is an almighty which will take him help. We are only the source, mothers are only the source for them, but he will take care of each and every individual. So that is what I should add.
Right.
Yeah, as Anjana said, yes, definitely I agree with that. Okay, we have to just, leave it on them, and we are proud of them, really.
Right.
Like,
Like what I want to tell all mothers out there is that, that focus on your child and not his disability. Because no matter what disability your child may or may not have, it's just one part of that child. It doesn't define him or her. So do not let it define them, and support them in, and give them confidence that they will fall. Any child who will, they'll, any child who starts walking, they fall. But we don't stop them. No parents tell their child that don't walk, you will fall. They tell them that if you'll fall, we are there to pick you up, hug you, give you our love and medicine if required. And then you have again, ask them to go ahead. Don't fear. So that's what I would say. That's a, be there, support them. Never say no to them that no, you cannot do that. Let them try. They will find the way. That's there. And as parents, we will anyways find the way. So that's the thing.
Mhm. Right. So thank you, a big thank you to all the Santas, and I hope everybody who's watching, you please give a big shout out to your own Santas, and to make this Christmas and all our Christmases memorable. And thank you all the moms for joining me today, and educating all of us. And thank you to those who are listening. Please keep listening, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas ahead of you. Stay safe, stay inclusive, and I will see you all next time. Thank you.